Hi, Lincolnshire Scouts. This is a fantastic opportunity to talk to you in 10 districts, all the way from Rutland to Louth, from cities, market towns, small villages, right the way through to the wonderful seaside resort of Skegness. It's a fantastic area you do your scouting in. And Michelle, who's asked me to do this video, has told me some amazing stories about what you do in your scouting, and you only need to look online on social media and see scouts from all across Lincolnshire doing amazing work. For those that don't know me, I'm Tony Malone and I'm a World Scout volunteer for diversity and inclusion. I'm also known in the UK for being somebody who promotes inclusion in scouting across the UK and helps deliver inclusive scouting and really celebrate the diversity of the movement we're in. I'm also an Explorer Scout leader, and with my own group down in Kent, I'm not blessed with being in a place quite as wonderful as Lincolnshire. What we do have is the ability now to talk about online scouting and how online scouting breaks down barriers. It allows us to be inclusive, it allows us to reach people who we wouldn't have expected we would reach, but it also allows us to grow our movement, to say to our scouts, if your friends are suffering with lockdown, if they're worried that they're not going to be able to go to their parks, their recreation areas, their climbing centres, swimming pools, come and have a look at online scouting, come and learn what we're doing. And it's fantastic talking to adult volunteers and young leaders like yourselves about this. I just wish, again, I wish I could be up there doing this in person and talking with you. But by doing this online, more of you will see this, more of you will hear about what we can do and hear about some of the ideas we have going forward. I'm actually baking today as the weather is fantastically hot here, and obviously working from home like yourselves. And one of the things which I think is really key when we're talking about how we do our scouting now, whether that's sitting in your summer house discussing it in hot conditions, or whether you're worried about your section shrinking or perhaps even growing, and how that looks. The important thing is that we leave nobody behind, and for me that's the mantra of inclusion, is that we must never leave anyone behind. We're about to enter this fantastic, great new world. And within that new world, there'll be challenges, there'll be celebrations. And scouting is going to go through this transition to where we are now, to where we will be. And it's really important that nobody is left behind on that journey. And one of the great ways to consider this when you're doing your scouting is to look at the Sustainable Development Goals. To look at the goals set down by the United Nations that are signed up to by every world government and every major international organisation, including Scouts, who are 54 million Scouts working around the world, are the largest deliverer of Sustainable Development Goals. And I've got a quick print out here. This really is the way to be inclusive, to enable scouting to be more relevant to the societies we live in, and also it's a way of ensuring we leave no one behind. If we look at some of the goals, we have looked at everything from number 1, which is no poverty, to number 12, which is, sorry, let's turn it around, responsible consumption and production. And we look at number 16, peace, justice and strong social institutions. Now, scouting is one of the oldest social institutions in the world. It's one of these forces for good in the world, which is delivered by yourselves. It's not delivered by us sort of working around the world and all of these people in offices and all of these people and volunteers doing things. It's delivered by leaders like yourselves. It's delivered by a young leader running a game. It's delivered by a leader taking his young people away camping when the new world says it's safe to do so. But most importantly, it's delivered by the conversations we shape when doing that. And we have two things. One is those conversations, by working towards the goals and that becoming part of our scouting and our conversation. We help shape this into a better resource that we can move forward with. But also that shapes who can access those conversations, who can access scouting, who can get into it. And for me, that's our biggest challenge ahead. And I'm not going to give you the answers because I don't know what they are. The best way I can do is to say, look at who isn't joining, look at how you can be more inclusive, celebrate the diversity you already have. And most of all, especially with given recent news events, is accept the fact that we don't get it right. We are not always going to be on the right way of doing things. We're not always going to have a history that reflects where we are now. And it's really important we accept that, discuss it, acknowledge it, but most important that we move on, that we say we are now relevant, we are now engaging on the global goals to help save the world. The best advice I can give any leader or any young leader or any Explorer Scout or Scout, Cub Scout, Beaver Scout is be the agent that fosters change. Be the scout that puts their hands up and say, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? If we did it this way, more people can join. And it's to embrace that future. And that's really what I can say to you, is just go out, have fun, share your best practice, share your ideas, share what's going on. Please, please, please engage with the global goals and look at the greatest way we can all work together to save the world. And most of all, enjoy scouting. Even if it's online, think of new and exciting ways of doing things. Look outside of the UK, look at what Scouting Ireland are doing, or Scouts of Egypt are doing, or Scouts of Taiwan, which recently launched some great inclusion resources. Now there's all this world of information out there, so you're not alone. And leaders everywhere are looking now at how we deliver things online across the entire world. And enjoy it. That you're pioneers of scouting now. So thank you for all of the amazing scouting you've been doing. Thank you for all of the work you've been putting into all of this. And I really look forward to seeing you when face-to-face scouting returns. Thank you.